We had just completed question 7. So everyone else is coming. If they are indeed coming, they will find us along the way. The train will be moving. So now we're going to continue with question 8. And then question 8 reads, during a divorce proceeding, during a divorce proceeding, the judge will consider. Okay, bless you. During a divorce proceeding, the judge will consider a wide range of factors to decide on maintenance for a party. Which factors will the judge consider? So that is the question of maintenance during a divorce. What factors will the judge consider? There is a wide range of factors that the judges consider when deciding on maintenance. What do you think the judges consider? Come on, guys. Let's use general knowledge. Okay, I see spouse existing means current financial state. Yes, that is correct. We can also apply general knowledge on this one, because we can obviously think that if, let's say, you are in this, if they receive any income, yes, they also consider their age, if they are able to, after the divorce, if the spouse is able to, because obviously there's always going to be one spouse who is at a disadvantaged position. So I'll use an example of a housewife. So let's say now you are married to this rich man, and then you decided that you're going to be a housewife. And then at the time of divorce, the court will look at if, because obviously a housewife, you're not working, dependent on your husband. So the court will look at your age. If you are at an age where you're going to be able to find a job, or you're earning potential, they will also check and see your lifestyle, the type of lifestyle that you were living, and the fact that you're getting divorced. If every year you used to take a trip to Dubai, it doesn't mean that you have to stop now just because you are divorcing. If your husband was financing that, the court does consider that. Because now that you're divorcing, you don't have to be poor. The court will also consider logically the number of children that you have, and they will also consider possibly some qualifications that you have. That is not per textbook, but those are some of the things that the court will consider. You say, okay, if you are 55 years old, what are the chances of you finding employment? Or if you did have an employment, what would be the chances of you maintaining the standard of lifestyle that you were living as a married person now that you are not married? So most of the things will possibly be logic, but in your answering, you must align your answers to what your textbook says. Anyone wants to add on something? You guys are quiet today. I'm worried. If people are quiet, it means either they do not understand a thing, or definitely Anderson. The age of both spouses, yes, especially yes, the age of both spouses, but especially the spouse who is at the disadvantaged end, or who is at the receiving mercy, something like that. Yeah. So when you're quiet, I'll be like, you guys either don't understand a thing, or you guys understand everything. So it's one of the two. So anybody wants to add, or should we move on to question 9?
Yeah, I guess we can move, Mr. T.
Okay, thank you, Vlad. So question 9 says, Susan is 60 years old and makes an appointment with you as an attorney. Her husband has died and she is worried about the future support as she is not working. Advise Susan on the way forward. This question was there yesterday on the LFL 101 session. I think it was phrased differently. Am I right to say that? It was phrased differently, but we did discuss that. Do you guys agree with me? Sanele, do you agree with me? I think we did discuss it yesterday. There was a question that about somebody who was worried about support.
I don't know, lie, man. I can't remember.
You can't remember. Okay, let me check it, because I would like to know if there is. I can see there are some similarities on the questions. Let's have a look. Let's take a minute and have a look. Just 1 second. Okay, it does not look like.
Yeah, T, I think we did, it was more maintenance in regards to
Yes,
divorce
yes.
and separation. Yeah, I don't think it was death of a spouse. It does overlap quite a bit though, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I just saw that too. It was maintenance after divorce. Yes, definitely. Thank you about that. Cool. So now let me go back to my questions. But please, I know you have that particular question that I just read now. If anybody wants to take the floor on that one, you may put up your hand, or you may just mute away while I'm trying to go back to the questions that were sent to me.
Okay, so T, I answered the question as it says that you need to advise the client. So I answered it in a manner addressing Susan. So I wrote that Susan would need to be advised of her rights and investigate as to her inquiry before her husband passed on. And then I've put there, with regards to maintenance needs, the factors that need to be taken into consideration. So the amount that is available in the deceased estate for distribution. Very important if there is a will in place. What else was there? The existing and expecting means, earning capacity, financial needs and obligations of the surviving spouse. I think it also, overlaps on the previous question as well, very similar. The duration of the marriage, and then the surviving spouse's standard of living at the time of the marriage, at the existence of the marriage, before the other spouse passed away. Any other relevant factor which would also be taken into account, things like, would Susan be able to provide for herself? And the amount is also limited that she needs to apply for. The disposal of the maintenance claim, and that is under the Administration of the Estate Act. And then also the order of preference. So I think this one is important in the sense that if there are children that lay claim to the deceased estate, that Susan's claim will not have precedence. Both parties would claim, and their order of claim would be in the same, preference would be in the same order. I
Definitely.
think that's it.
Yes, definitely, Tanya. Thank you so much. Your answer is 100% correct. I would not amend anything, but I would like to add the first point that you would like to indicate when you are advising your client. The first thing that you would want to know before you even go into all the details. All your details are correct, but first of all, you need to be able to know. You need to know as an attorney. You need to know. Obviously, they say. And her husband died. Okay, obviously now they were married, but you need to know their matrimonial property regime, if it was in community of property or if it was out of community of property. Then you can yes, then you can work it out from there. So if it was in community of property, you know that obviously the way that you're advising her, her claim will obviously be successful. Yes, definitely. If an antenuptial contract exists or something like that, or if it was out of community of property. So I think that would be the first point to lay your foundation on how you're going to answer the question. Otherwise, everything else is correct. But you can just go back and add that, like if the marriage is in community of property, this is how it's going to be. If it is out of community of property, with an antenuptial contract or without, or if there was a will in place, and so on and so on, then you can lay the entire body just like you have stated. But everything else is correct. Thank you so much for that. Does anyone else has a question regarding this particular topic? Question 9. Okay, assume everyone is happy, and then we can now move on to question 10. Question 10 is also on maintenance. It says, address the situations in which the parental right to maintenance ceases to exist according to your prescribed textbook. Yes, it is saying, I'm good that you guys are happy. So address the situations in which the parental right to maintenance ceases to exist according to your prescribed textbook. Like I said, I do not have the textbook in front of me. I hope that you guys have your textbook with you. And if anyone wants to take that one, please, the floor is yours. Come on, guys! Can we hear what you guys put on your assignment? That's the only way that you can. There is no right or wrong on answering your questions. If you can bring it out, you don't need even to be shy, because that's where we're going to correct you, and then you will know how to answer them going forward. You can take the floor, Tanya. I think it was Tanya.
No, I was actually just putting in the comments.
Okay.
Sorry, T. It's like I wanted to give someone else a chance.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah.
if
Tanya,
no one else wants to.
Yes, there is Andy Swa. Andy Swa put up her hand. Let's hear from
Yes.
her. Yes. Andy Swa, you can unmute.
All right. At 10 o'clock, I will cut off now, but I quickly want to put the answer. How did I put it on my assignment?
Okay.
According to the textbook, the death of a child terminates all elements of parental obligation and rights, including the responsibility of support. The liable party, insolvency, sequestration of person's estate who is obligated to support another, does not end the person's obligation of support, but the Insolvency Act 24 of 1936 restricts the sources from the responsibility met to a reasonable quantity of money or reasonable number of commodities. Can you still hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you. I can hear you at least.
Okay. The child entering into a marriage or civil union. If the child marries or enters into a civil union, the child's spouse or civil union partner is first obligated to support the child. However, if the child's spouse or civil union partner is unable to support the child may seek maintenance from his or her parents or grandparents or siblings. The child becoming self-supporting. According to the common law, parental responsibility exists separately from parental power and lasts until the kid is able to support themselves, regardless of when this occurs. Due to the is in section 1 of the Children's Act, paragraph 3, the need of provide for one's family has been added to the list of parental duties and rights.
Okay, all right, thank you. No, I think we can leave it there. You have done well. Thank you so much. We do appreciate that, Andiswa. So if it's there on the textbook, it says according to the textbook. So you can just, I see that Tanya did post it on the textbook for question 10. It says page 351 to 353. It is up to you guys now to go and read it, and then you can paraphrase it in your own way. And please, please, please do not forget to reference. It is very important that you reference your work with in-text referencing, as well as the inclusion of the reference list. So I know, Tanya, I have to come back to you with regards to your assignment as well. Tonight, I will have a look at it, and then everyone else that I haven't replied to. The thing is that I received a lot, and then yes, I will definitely do that. I know you are worried, but you will get your response tonight. And unfortunately, we're not going to be going through to ISL. It's already late, and I would assume that most of the people are sleeping now. So we will, I'll make some time for ISL when possibly tomorrow. If it does happen that I don't get a chance, I will do the recording by myself, or I'll create a memo and then I'll post it on the group, because it's probably going to sting from my end, because I wasn't aware that there's ISL 100 and there's ISL 101, LFL 100 and LFL 101. So if I had known, I would have made provision for all those sessions earlier. So if I didn't get a chance to do it tomorrow, what I'm going to do is that I'll go through the questions, and then I'll create a memo, and then I will share that memo with you, and then you can compare it with how you have answered them. That will be before you submit on Monday, because I do understand that the submission is on Monday. But I'll try by all means to make sure that I assist you guys on that regard with a memo or something like that. Yes, Tanya, you can take the floor.
Thanks, T. I just wanted to find out, so like, I think, you know, the content for me is quite reasonable at the moment, but one of the concerns in terms of the assignment was the length of the answer. Now, in the study guide, they say that you got to answer according to how many points you're given, and understandably so, but some of them, it's like a 10-point question, but like I've answered it very briefly, very concise and to the point. And I just worry that it's a bit short.
That is a valid question. Thank you. So for me, I wouldn't be worried with regards to that. So let's say it's a 10-mark question, understandably. So all the questions, they come with 10 marks. So if your answers, so let's say, like for a question where they say, let me see, I think there's some questions where they say list. When they say list, which means you're going to list in maybe in bullet points, right? So if they say list and then you're listing in bullet points, and then let's say according to the textbook, it's you can only list 5. So what I would do is then I would list and then I would substantiate. And then I would list the next one and then I'll substantiate. So what that means is that your listing gets a mark for that, and then your further explanation gets a mark for that. So even if you're answering in an essay format, you have to make sure that you kind of make some points or like things to stand out. Because if you're answering in an essay format, I'm not sure if it's within your study guide that an essay will need an introduction, will need the body, to need the conclusion, and like make sure that you list your points. You make your points stand out when you're answering your questions. But for me, the way I would do it, I would try and make sure that my points count up to the number of marks that are awarded per question. So to be on the safe side, I would always answer in bullets so that they will see that this is 1 point and then this is another. And then in a point where I can only list 5, I'll make my point known, and then I will leave a space and then I'll substantiate. I think in that way, then it will be clear. Okay, interview. One question, Mr. T, you don't do LLA. I do, Tabiseng, I do LLA, but then the problem that I had was that there is not enough people, and I wouldn't want to spend a whole lot of time when there is not enough attendance. I did only one session, and the other thing was with regards to my time from my side, because I did feel like I'm putting a lot of time here, and then which leads to me not being able to attend to my own studies. But I will, once we're done with these assignments, we'll go back to the tutorial sessions where we'll create a new timetable to say, okay, on this day we're going to do this, on this day we're going to do this, and then going forward. So if you do have a question pertaining LLA, you can still send it to me privately, and then I can try and answer it. And then if I am getting a lot of the same questions, then I can make a video on that, and then you guys can just refer to it. I hope that is clear. Does anyone has a question before we close? The silence means that there is no questions, and it means that everyone else is happy. So yes, Sanele?
Mr. T?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry guys, you excuse me, I'm at work and I'm driving. I just wanna find out about an essay. So
Yeah.
do we have like to write introduction, body, and conclusion? Do we have to write those things, or we just write without like
No,
putting?
you don't have to. You don't have to, but your introduction needs to show that it is an introduction. So there are different forms of essays. So people approach essays differently. Some people make it obvious that this is an introduction, or they can say, okay, introduction, but I don't think that is necessary. From my side, I do not say introduction, body. conclusion. I do not put it like that. So because we all have different styles of writing, you can write it in your own way, but it is not necessary and it is not set on stone that you have to follow that specific format.
Oh, okay, all right. Thanks, Mr. T.
Okay, sir. Okay, does anyone else have a question? Thank you, Sanere. I understand that you're driving and you're at work. So, okay, does anyone else has a question, guys? So advice, the same thing, it's not necessary. Okay, thank you, Tanya. Okay, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I would take it as if everyone is happy. And then somebody asked me with regards to LLA, let's see who it was once again. Was it Ntabi saying? Yes, Ntabi saying, please do send me a message with that particular question, and then we can see if I can best answer it. But at this time, there is a pile of assessments that I have to go through. I will try by all means to get to yours as soon as possible, but I really don't want to get in trouble with the people that sent their assignments as early as last week. So I will go through those first and make sure that everybody gets their response before the end of business tomorrow. Well, there's no business on Sunday, but before the end of tomorrow, so that they can go ahead and submit their assignments. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'll call it a night. It's very late, as you understand that some people are at work, some people just want to sleep. It has been a long day, and I will take that time to thank you for joining me this evening. Thank you, Mr. Sanele. Thank you, Dikeledi. Thank you to me. We haven't heard you speak for a very long time. Thank you, Noguzota. Thank you, Ntabiseng. And a very warm thanks to you, Tanya, and thank you for the participation. Very much appreciated. Let's call it a night, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you tomorrow or on Monday. Thank you and good night.